What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So we're back here continuing with these realistic rebuilds, and today we have another team that's been red hot in the NBA right now, that being the Detroit Pistons, who are just having a phenomenal season thus far. So you may be thinking, why would the Pistons need my help? Besides the point that we always do all 30 teams regardless of their situation, I do think the Pistons could potentially be one piece away from being contenders, which is something I've said for a while anyway. But let's go ahead and jump in, talk about it, and do this Detroit Pistons realistic rebuild based off the hot start they've had this season, and I think it's going to stick for a while. 16-4 on the season so far for Detroit. I mean, that is just fantastic. If you're a Pistons fan, you have to be super excited about this team. Cade Cunningham is an absolute stud, exactly what you wanted when you drafted him. You have Jalen Duren, who's having a really good season as well, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and it goes on and on. This Pistons team is super talented, but as I mentioned, are they potentially one final piece away from really being taken absolutely seriously? Because it could be, we'll see. I'm not even going to go there. I was going to talk about something, but let's just figure this out. So do we bring in another piece to this team? Well, we're going to go ahead and simulate to the simulate to the trade deadline and figure it out. Now, one guy that I think everyone talks about, and I have done it in a previous Pistons video, so I probably won't do it today. Lauri Markkanen. Again, he does make a lot of sense for Detroit if they could find a way to match his contract, which I think they can with Tobias Harris's salary. Some other things, he would definitely fit like a glove, but I'm going to try to do something different today. So with all that being said, let's go ahead, get to the trade deadline, and see if there is a move to be made there to get this Cade Cunningham Pistons-led roster a co-star. So we're currently at the trade deadline as we are at 25-24. So that fast start that the Pistons got off of was just quickly erased by the 2K sim, which I'm not overly surprised by. But here is what we have going for us at the trade deadline. So I have put together 5 targets for trade ideas. These are based off teams that are selling or rebuilding at the trade deadline. So this doesn't really reflect real life necessarily with how good these teams are or if they're not. Jaren Jackson, Bam Adebayo, I mentioned Markkanen, and I got to talk about him again. Again, he makes a lot of sense, and he is by far my favorite target for Detroit. But since I have gotten him in previous video, I'm not going to go for him. Levine and MPJ are just guys that can space the floor. They're probably pretty cheap to acquire as well, so they are not necessarily co-stars, but just guys that can give you a boost if you want it. But Jaren Jackson and Bam are definitely my 2 guys I'm kind of looking at here, and I do kind of like the idea of maybe acquiring Jaren Jackson off the Memphis Grizzlies. Who knows what the Grizzlies will look like at the trade deadline, but I do think it could be, a rebuild there, or they could just stick with Jaren Jackson, just trade Morant. A lot of different ways they can go about it, but I do think Jaren Jackson is by far my favorite target. Another couple guys I do want to mention are like Siakam in Indiana. If the Pacers did want to trade him, I don't think they would do that though, just based off you'd be sending him to Detroit, you'd have to deal with them in the future. So not really sure they'd be on board for that. And then of course you could always take the chance on Zion Williamson as well if you wanted to, which I don't necessarily hate the idea of that, but I think I'm going to go with Jaren Jackson today. So let's see if we can pull off a trade for Jaren Jackson, as the Grizzlies are currently selling right now. So I know Jaren Jackson is not everyone's favorite cup of tea, but I do think he'd fit pretty well here. So I'm going to go ahead and offer Tobias Harris, and I mean, maybe Jaden Ivey is in the trade because you do have to pay him after this season, so I wouldn't hate maybe throwing him in here so the Grizzlies can maybe get something out of him in the future. So Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, and then you could go give me like Spencer as just a throw-in, and then we can give you our first this year, because Jaren Jackson should be valuable. I will say, if we do trade our first, it is kind of risky, but we should make the playoffs if we get Jaren Jackson, I would think. And then maybe you protect your first in 2028 or something like that. So Tobias Harris, Ivy, 2 first-rounders. Anything else we feel like we need to throw in here? Don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it at that and see what the Grizzlies kind of say to this, and they do end up agreeing to that. So that is the first trade of the video. So Cade Cunningham, LeVert, Asar, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Duncan Robinson, so that backwards, but you get the point. Ron Holland and Paul Reed will be our rotation for the rest of the season. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So Cade and Jaren Jackson are the new guys in town in Detroit. Well, Cade's not new, but you get the point. They're the new duo, I guess. But I guess I'll leave it at, actually, let's move this proficiency also to balance. I think that'll probably work out a little bit better. So again, enough yapping here. Let's go ahead and get to the end of year 1 and see how this Piston team does with Jaren Jackson at the helm next to Cade Cunningham. So SGA is going to win MVP. Cooper Flag's your Rookie of the Year. Colin Sexton's your 6th man. Wemby's your DPOY. And Nemius is your Most Improved. Luka is your Clutch Player. And Mark is your Coach of the Year. And John Murphy is your Executive. And Wemby is your Cup MVP. Here is your All-NBA first team. All-NBA second. We do get Cade Cunningham on here, which is nice to see. All-NBA third team. And All-Defensive first team. And All-Defensive second team. Here's All Rookie first and All Rookie second team. So looking good all around there. We do end up as a 6th seed in the East, which is nice. But like I said, kind of sucked to have seen this team fall off as far as they did, just because 2K Sim didn't respect them too much based off the start they've had. But you had 16 from Jalen Duren, who is someone we're going to have to pay, which is why I do think it made sense to trade Ivy, because I didn't want to have to pay both of them, I guess. I'm not sure Detroit will either, but I guess we'll find out in due time. Cade Cunningham averaging 30, so yeah, it's looking good. But let's go ahead and get into these playoffs, going up against the Miami Heat in round 1, see how well we fare against them. So they end up as the 3rd seed. They were rebuilding at the trade deadline, and Bam Adebayo, I think, is out right now, so that's actually a big boost for us, as we do win game 1 by 1 point, and we do have a tie series as they beat us by 1 in game 2, but we do win game 3 and as a tied series. Okay, well, this is a battle so far with the Miami Heat, so let's go to game 5 on the road and see if we can go up 3-2 on this Miami Heat squad. We have a lead at the moment, but can we hang on to it? It looks like we will, unless we blow a lead in the 4th, but we do beat them by 10. So do we win game 6? No, we're going to a game 7. Boston's on the other side awaiting us, which is interesting because obviously Tatum is not even healthy, so they just beat the Cavs like that. That's wild. Asar did get hurt, which does not help at all, so that's kind of unfortunate. But all right, we get to play the Miami Heat in game 7 with no Asar Thompson, so let's see if we can still go out here and win regardless without Asar. We had a lead there. We take it back. They take it back. Back and forth game. It is going to go to Miami, though, in 7 games. So Cade also picked up an injury there, which definitely did not help. So yeah, that kind of sucks. We ran into some injuries. So Miami and Boston. Miami's probably going to get to the conference finals, I assume, and they do. And Atlanta's facing them there as well. And the Miami Heat make it to the finals, but I'm sure OKC probably. No, okay, wow. The Miami Heat are going to go on and win a championship in year 1. Shout out to the Miami Heat. Wow, did not expect that. Don't often see that at all, really, ever. So LeBron, Chris Paul, so you do have some like end of an era here stuff, or end of, you know what I'm saying. It's an end of an era for some of these players we've grown and watched. But let's go ahead and see where our pick is going to end up. We obviously traded away, so Memphis is going to have the 17th pick, so we do not have a first rounder anymore. We have Bickerstaff still as the head coach, which that will remain the same. Don't need to change that, at least not yet, until I feel like we have to, if there is a reason for doing it. So we have a bunch of seconds, I will say, so that might be something we can utilize a little bit. But let's go ahead and get straight past the draft in and go to player options, as we're going to have Robinson, $60 million, which I'm going to go ahead and accept it, and then I'm going to accept Sassers as well. And then for qualifying offers, we got Jalen Duren, which is a must re-sign. He's going to be our starting franchise center for a while here. So yeah, that to me is a no-brainer, although the Lakers are in on him, but we should be able to match anything he's given, so we don't even really need to do anything. So yeah, easily that's a match. That was not even going to be something I would have hesitated on. We do have guys like Quentin Grimes, who did play for Detroit there for a second, but he didn't stay there very long. So I wonder if he would be okay with a reunion. Still have Tobias Harris here as well. We traded Mark Williams, who's restricted, but I do kind of like the idea of, ooh, Lou Dort's here too. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Quentin Grimes. I think he'd be a really nice starting shooting guard for us, honestly. I think he'd fit really well if he does choose us, and he does. So that's a really good addition already. So I love that. So now you have Cade, Sasser, Grimes, and I think what I want to do is I want to use Robinson's contract and all those seconds I got to potentially bring in another good player as a role player. So I'm going to move Ron Holland also to the 3 because he jumps up like crazy. So that's always a cheat code to go ahead and take care of as well. But all right, let's go ahead and see if I can make a move using Robinson's contract. Almost combine the two words together. See if there's anybody available for that. If the Mavericks went on some kind of selling stage in the offseason or at the deadline, would they be willing to trade away Daniel Gafford potentially? I do kind of like the idea of this. So I'm going to see if I can just throw a bunch of seconds at them, because as you can see, we have a bunch of them, and then another player in here. So let's say we threw in like Bobby, I guess, in this trade. Would that give me Gafford? I do think this should be enough. Let's see what they say, and they agree. So we're going to get Daniel Gafford as our new center. So Cade, Sasser, we have Spencer, Chaz Lanier, LeVert, Grimes now, Asar, Ron Holland, Jaren Jackson, Isaiah Stewart, and then now we have Jalen Duren, Gafford, and Paul Reed. So I do like this rotation quite a bit. I think Grimes is going to be underrated addition, hopefully. He did shoot, 12 points per game on 41% from 3 last year. Robinson obviously gave us very similar stats, but the problem with Robinson is I do believe he's a guy that often regresses, which is why I didn't really want to count on him. But let's go to progression and see what we got. So we do have Ron Holland up to an 81 because we know what we did there. Grimes stays the same, which we'll take. LeVert is down 2 overall, and Cam Spencer is also up, which is nice. And then Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, Asar. So nothing too crazy here. And then, of course, we traded Robinson to the Mavericks. And yeah, as I mentioned, he's down to a 75. So that's kind of why I was okay with moving on from him. But all right, let's go ahead, get in the rotation for year 2. This will be a full year of Cade and Jaren Jackson. So I'm excited to see what that will mean for us in the second season. Well, power rank is pretty high on us with it being 5th overall, so that's a good sign. Unfortunately, we're not a 4-star proficiency, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess defense actually does give us a 4-star. So, you know what? I guess we're going to go back to defense if it's going to be our best proficiency. Didn't realize how many good defenders we have in here, so that's probably a better thing to do anyway. And our spacing is pretty decent now as well, so I'm pretty happy with our starting 5 all around. You can maybe convince me that maybe upgrading from Grimes in the future would be ideal, but I do think he'd be a solid starting shooting guard. So Cade, Grimes, Asar, Jackson, Jalen Duren, love that a lot, with Ron Holland, Gafford, Stewart, Cam Spencer, and then we'll run a 10-man rotation as well. Did Sasser move up at all, by the way? He did not. Or I think he might have went up 1, but LeVert's going to get that 10th spot, which is fine by me. But let's go ahead, simulate this season. Pretty high on this team, so I'm hoping to be back in, where the Pistons are in real life right now. So back to being a really good team atop of the East. 2K gave us a lot of disrespect last year, so hopefully this year things will be different. But so far, we're off to kind of a medium start. Let's see if we can get on a win streak here soon. A lot more respect this time around in year 2, which is a good thing to see. But Jokic wins MVP. Peterson's Rookie of the Year in Utah. You got Murray winning 6th man. Wemby is your DPOY, and Bub Carrington's your most improved. Luka is your clutch player, and Mike Brown's your Coach of the Year, and Nathan Mack is your executive, and Anthony Edwards is your Cup MVP. So here is your NBA first team. We got Jokic, Giannis, Wemby, who's hurt out for the season with a humerus fracture. Interesting. Brunson for the Knicks, Edwards for the Timberwolves. And we do get Cade back on All-NBA second team once again, averaging 28 points per game. So he continues to be really good. And then Luka, Ja Morant, LaMelo. Do we get Jaren Jackson by chance on one of these teams? Not an All-NBA third team, but maybe all-defensive team? Maybe no. Okay, so no all-defensive team, unfortunately. But I do wonder with our defensive proficiency how good we were on the defensive end. So I do actually kind of want to look at that. So offensive rating, we were number 6. And defensively, it looks like we were pretty good as well. We were number 5. So yeah, that's the recipe for being a contender in the NBA. So hopefully that translates to winning some series here, or at least one. But I would like to more than that, obviously. 28 from Cade Cunningham, 23 from Jaren Jackson, 15 from Jalen Duren, 11 from Quentin Grimes, 10 from Ron Holland, 8 from Asar Thompson, and 8 from LeVert. As far as spacing was concerned, Cade shot 40%. Jaren Jackson on 6 attempts, shot 34, which, you wanted to be better, but I guess I'll take that. Ron Holland, 29, 27, 29, and then 39 from Isaiah Stewart on 3 attempts a game. And then, of course, Grimes, 44%, which is what we wanted, and I'm happy we got that out of him. But all right, we get to play the Toronto Raptors in round 1, which is another team. Like I said, I did a video on them recently. And yeah, they're off to a really good start too. So let's see if we can't take them out here. So game 1 is going to go to us. 1-0 start, 29 from Cade, 7 assists, 18, 8, and 5. Game 2, we're up 2-0. So far, so good. Can we keep the momentum up in our favor? The Raptors may tie the series, and they do just like that. Kind of saw that coming, unfortunately, but Ron Holland is hurt, so that is a big blow. He is going to be able to play through it, but he definitely takes a big overall dip with that injury. But we're back home in game 5. It looks like the home team has won every single game, so can we continue that trend here? So far, so good, but they are crawling back into it slowly, but I do think we will not let them back fully. So we do win game 5. Now, can we win game 6 to get to the second round? Yes, we can. So we won our first playoff series of the video. We get to play Orlando or Chicago. So I think the Magic would be nice because we would have home court advantage, and it is going to a game 7. It will be the Chicago Bulls. So in theory, you would think we should be able to beat the Chicago Bulls because, the Bulls are just kind of a weird franchise. But, you'd be wrong because, oh, wow, Jaden Ivey went to Chicago. Maybe he's looking for some revenge on us. Bazelis come off the bench. Russell Westbrook is in Chicago. And yeah, when you look at this Bulls team, it's not that terrifying, but for whatever reason, they are just a team that just clicks in 2K. So would not shock me in the slightest if we somehow lose this series, but I do think we're the better team. So hopefully that does translate to us winning this series. But we're going to a game one, and we're going to take the Bulls extra seriously here. See if we can't get a game one steal to start things off, as we've been on their ankles the whole game, but unfortunately could never take the lead there. So I think we took it for a second. But now we got to try to win a game two, but the Bulls may go up 2-0 unless if we take this lead and run with it, which we've won all 3 quarters so far. And we are going to take a game on the road in Chicago. So that's good. Ron Holland is getting closer. Not quite. And I just realized we've been running a 10-minute rotation this entire time. Let's get to a 9-minute rotation here. So game 3 in Detroit. So we took a road game. So we did our job there. But now it's time to protect home court and not let Chicago get back in the series. And we do have a lead late here. And we will take the 2-1 lead. So protect our first game at home, which is good. Now let's try to protect the second one at home and try to punch our ticket to the conference finals. Go up 3-1, put yourself in prime position to win one more game here. We have the lead at the moment, and we will take the 3-1 lead over the Chicago Bulls. So that's a good sign. Now, can we beat them in Game 5, Game 6, and avoid a Game 7? So Ron Holland's still hurt at the moment. Can we beat them in 5? Yes, we can. So just like that, we are in the conference finals in just season number 2, which is nice. But Detroit had a good foundation, so it's not like I'm too surprised by this. But the New York Knicks have Brunson, Keon Ellis, McHale, Josh Hart, Mitch Robinson, OG Anunoby, McBride, Andre Drummond, Barnes, Yabusele, and Cat is hurt. So I was about to say, I feel like they're missing somebody, and it is indeed Cat. How long is he going to be out for? We know Ron Holland for us is hurt, and he is getting closer, but not quite ever going to be fully healthy, it feels like. Maybe not till the finals if we get there. Cat is out this entire series, it looks like anyway. He's with a broken left toe. So it'd be nice to take advantage of that. And we do go up game 1. So that's a good start. We're also on the road in that one. They do take game 2 though. So we got to try to protect our home games. We did our job once again, taking a road one. But can we protect home court? They're about to take a road game. So the Knicks are a tough outing in 2K, so I would not shock me in the slightest if we do lose this team, regardless of, Cat being hurt. But Ron Holland, up to an 80 overall now. We definitely need to win this game, or we could be in trouble. We need to tie the series in the worst way possible. They've had the lead, but we're right behind them, and we are going to take it at the end, overtime. And oh my gosh, 3 overtimes, but we do win. Wow, that was crazy. Okay. Well, a win's a win, and that kind of reminds me when Denver and Portland went to like 4 overtimes. I believe that game was crazy, man. I'm so glad I was not a Nuggets fan that night, because if I would have watched a 4 overtime game and then your team lost, that would have been heartbreaking. But I mean, they ended up winning a championship in the future anyway, so who really won, right? So we got the Knicks going up 3-2 on us though. So we got to win a game 6, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pull out the 8-man rotation here and see if we can't force a game 7 back to Madison Square Garden, which the crowd should be absolutely ruckus here in Detroit, and we do have a really nice lead right now, so we find a way to blow this, and we just don't deserve this at all, but we are going to force a game 7. Okay, 110-133. Can we punch our ticket to the finals in just year 2? We are so close to making it happen. Game 7 on the road in MSG. This is where you want to play basketball. Can we come out here and take the road win? It is back and forth. Oh my gosh, we won. Holy moly. Don't know what just happened there, but I think we may have hit a game winner to punch our ticket to the finals. So Daniel Gafford, of all people, is the one that made a layup to win the game. Imagine losing in the conference finals to get to the finals in game 7 to Daniel freaking Gafford. That would be pretty sad, honestly. I'm just saying, that would suck. Wow. Okay, well, we are in the finals, and we get to play Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. This is actually crazy. So let's go back to the 9-man rotation though. We're not quite in the thick of things yet, so here we go. Minnesota, of course, they're always really good in the 2K sim, so this may be as far as we get, but let's see if we can come out here and maybe beat the Wolves and win a championship in the second season with the Pistons here. So we had a lead for a second there, but we are trying to get back in it, but unfortunately Detroit or Minnesota never quite let us back in it. Now, one thing we've also had other than Ron Holland is health, which has been good, but we have a nice lead in game 2. Can we hold on to it? No. Minnesota's going to run with it in the 3rd and the 4th, so we did not show up in the second half. So Ron Holland's about to finally be fully healthy, but it may be too late. I don't know if that would have made a massive difference. Anyway, we have to win at least game 3 to make this at least interesting for game 4. We have a lead at the moment, but we did in game 2 as well. And we are going to take game 3. So 112 to 142. Man, these playoffs have been pretty crazy. So fully healthy now. Can we win game 4 and force a interesting game 5 where we're both tied up? But it's not looking like that's going to be the case. We are going to go down 3-1 to the Timberwolves. So 126 to 100. Unfortunately, and Asar Thompson is pretty cold right now. Obviously, offensively, he's not been really much of an option for us. But defensively, we know what he brings to the table. So we're going to go ahead and force the 8-man rotation out here and see if we can't make a triumphant 3-1 comeback on a Timberwolves team. That's really damn good. It is a close game here, but Minnesota is not going to let us go to another game. So Edwards wins Finals MVP. We did get all the way to the NBA Finals, but unfortunately fell short in 5 here. But we got to be close, right? Like, there's not anything to be too discouraged about. I really like this team we threw together. Don't know if I'll be doing too much this offseason, but maybe improving a couple bench pieces would be ideal. So we do have the 26th pick in this draft, which I'm not really sure how much that will help us as far as having a guy that will come in and bring something to the table right away, but it's still a pick nonetheless. Do I trade this first for something, or do I just... We also have a 7th, 26 and 7, a draft night trade. Don't really have any expiring salaries. Like, I like Stewart as our backup 4. I think he's, yeah, so I think our additions are gonna have to come through free agency, and of course whoever we draft at 26. So at 26 we will take yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and take Matthias Mahop out of France. So welcome to the team. And then in the second round we'll take Bryson Howard out of North Carolina. So don't know how good those guys will be. Probably won't be impactful right away, but 72 and 73 is not too bad, which I will take. Stewart, I'm going to accept, and I'm also going to accept Lanier. You know, it would be nice if Lanier found a way to jump up into this rotation, but I'm not really sure we can trust that. Marcus Sasser and Asar Thompson are both free agents. Sasser, I would like, but I don't really know if he has any development coming for him, so we'll have to see on him. But Asar Thompson, obviously, is going to be someone we do look to re-sign. He's not even asked for much money either, so, and Sasser's not even asked for much money, so absolutely going to re-sign both these guys. So Asar Thompson, welcome back. And then let's see what else we can sign here. So when I look at this, I do think we need a backup point guard, because Spencer, Lanier, and, you know, I think one of these guys could be fine next year. Bryson Howard, we're going to get Asar Thompson, so that's not a big deal. And we have Gafford. So backup point guard is the position I'm looking at, saying, hey, we could use something here. So we have like Davion Mitchell, who would fit exactly what we're kind of trying to do here. So to me, he makes a lot of sense for this team. So I'm going to bring in Sasser and Davion Mitchell. They're going to have a backup point guard competition, I guess. So we'll go with that. And I think Davion Mitchell is a really good player to bring into this mix anyway. And I'm also going to bring in Nemius as another center option just in case. So yeah, not a sexy offseason by any means, but wait, did I not get Asar Thompson secure? Or was that Ahmed Thompson? I thought I saw Asar Thompson out here for a second, but no, he's back already, so never mind. Okay, so we're good. Let's just go to progression. It probably was Ahmed Thompson, but Cade is down, Jalen Duren's up, Asar is up 1, and Ron Holland's up 1, so we'll take that, and Spencer is up. Lanier is up to 74, but nothing too significant. So maybe at the trade deadline, we can make a move there as well to maybe do something else there to bring in one more piece we would feel really good about. But overall, the fact that this team made it to the finals, I feel good about them potentially being able to do it again, because I do think we're that talented. So here is rotation for year 3. Cade, Grimes, Asar, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, Gafford, Isaiah Stewart, Davion Mitchell, and Cam Spencer. So that's what we're going to run. And there is a possibility I do stop the trade deadline to make a move if I feel like it is necessary to do so. But let's go ahead and send this season, get to the trade deadline first, and see if there's any moves to be made to upgrade this roster even further and try to go win a championship here in year 3, as we're off to a very good start, similar to what the Pistons are doing, like I said, in real life. So I'm glad we're getting that respect we deserve here. So I decided not to make any moves at the trade deadline, because right now, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The team is just clicking on all cylinders. So I'm just going to rely on continuity along with the addition of Davion Mitchell to see if that is going to do it in for us, but we'll see. So Wemby is your MVP. Christian Collins, Rookie of the Year in Sacramento. Caleb Wilson's your 6th man. Wemby's your depoy as well. Caleb Wilson also most improved, and Brunson's your clutch player. Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year, as you guys can see. I felt like what we had going on was not something we needed to change. So 62 and 20. Here is your All-NBA first. Oh, that's not good. Cade Cunningham has a dislocated right shoulder. Oh, that's brutal. Okay, so we're going to have to try to survive without him for probably 2 playoff series, it looks like. Maybe earlier than that. But man, that is not what I wanted to see. yeah, he's not going to be playing through that at all. So thankfully we have Davion Mitchell, though, to hopefully step up. And we are the first seed, so we should be able to play a weaker team. But if there is some team that's in the, in the 8th seed or whatever that shouldn't be there and they're really good, that could be a problem. So let's look at the player stats. And Cade literally got hurt at the end of the season. So talk about bad luck. 31 from Cade, 23 from Jaren Jackson, 15 from Duren, 12 from Ron Holland, 10 from Stewart, 10 from Quentin Grimes, 8 from Gafford, 8 from Asar, and 5 from Davion Mitchell. So who is going to step up in Cade's place? My presumption, it is indeed Davion Mitchell. So I think we can get it done for a while. I mean, maybe Jaren Jackson leading the way could be a problem, but we'll see, man. So we are going to be playing either Chicago, Miami, Indiana, or Cleveland. All teams that could be really tough. So we'll see what happens. So similarly playing, it is going to be the Miami Heat, who we did beat they beat us? I can't remember now. I think they might have. No, they did beat us, right? They beat us in 7, and they went on to win the championship. So, yeah, we'll have to see if we can take down this Heat team without Cade, which is going to be tough. But he is still 1 to 2 weeks away. So, yeah, we'll have to just try without him. And then as far as our team stats are concerned, because I did want to look at this again, we were number one on offense and number 1 on defense. So, exactly what you want. Game 1 is going to go to us, 142 to 127. Jaren Jackson drops 40 in game 1. We're going to need that. And Ron Holland dropping 24 as well is a big time help as well. And we're up 2-0 on this Miami Heat team so far. So far, we're getting by without Cade. He is still 1 to 2 weeks away, though. Game 3, 3-0. You know what? I wouldn't mind letting the Heat win a couple games here to try to, give Cade a longer window. But you also want to play with your food too much. So, let's just see. And we are going to sweep them. Wow. Yo, Toronto, if you want to force a game 7, that'd be nice because I don't want to play the Nets. We'll see. So it is going to be... Wow. Okay. But I will say the other series haven't been... I don't know if that's going to take into effect, but it would be nice if it did. Uh-oh. He is back, actually. I think Cade's going to be able to play next series. So we got out of the first round without Cade. We should be in a better spot. But if these series can extend a little bit, that would be nice. This is going to 7. And this one's going to 7. So that gives us as much time as we could have asked for. All those games going to 7. And now we're on to the second round. Okay. So, we get to play the Nets with Jokic, which we noticed. And I don't know why, man. He always leaves the Nuggets. It's just, and Cade's basically back. Let's see. He is day-to-day now. So, yes, we bought time. And we have Cade now healthy, which is good. But almost healthy. But it should be enough. We should be able to get by. But it is Jokic in the Nets. So, we'll see. Game 1 is going to go to us. Game 2 is going to go to them. Game 3 is going to go to Brooklyn. Okay. Not loving that. I would not like to lose to the Nets in round 2. I would like to get us back to the finals here again. But the Nets may have something to say about that. Can we at least tie the series to have that for us? We do at least tie the series. Okay. So I'm going to go 8-man rotation here because this Nets team is scaring me. So let's just try to get by them. And then we still have Chicago on the other side, which they're a team that scares me as well, for whatever reason, but they are just a team that does really extremely good in the sim. But we are going to go up 3-2 on this Nets team, so that's a good sign. Uh-oh, Cade picks up another injury. Thankfully on day-to-day, but man, Cade, you're scaring me. We need you healthy. All right, can we beat them in 6? Yes, we can. So we're in the conference finals. San Antonio and Minnesota on the other side. So Chicago, they have Giddey, Ivy. Ivy is someone that we've seen twice now. He is lighting it up in the playoffs, by the way. 56% from 3 so far. Insane. Kobe White off the bench. Podziemski. I mean, they are loaded at guard with Giddey, Kobe White, Podziemski, Ivy. I already said Giddey, but you get the point. Okay. Well, Cade, are you back to... Nope, he's still playing through an injury, I guess. I'm going to go back to a 9-man rotation here. And game 1 is going to go to us. Blow them out, by the way, as well. Game 2 goes to us as well. This is good so far. Wow, Chicago, they didn't stand a chance. Okay. Minnesota is the matchup again, and Cade is back to being fully healthy. So can we take out the Timberwolves here, who... Well, it looks like it'll be the Timberwolves anyway. Unless the Spurs... Oh, wait a minute. The Spurs... Oh, nope. Anthony Edwards your finals MVP, and Cade is your finals MVP. Okay, so it's a rematch of the finals from last year. We have no injuries to report. Timberwolves do not have any either, other than Simone Fontecchio, which I'm sure doesn't affect them too much. All right, man. Can we come out here and actually beat this team that beat us last year? So... we do have game 1 at home in Detroit. They've had the lead most of it, but as long as we can take the lead at the end, that's what matters. And we are going to win game 1. 119. Oh my gosh, 59 from Cade. 59 points from Cade Cunningham. That is beautiful. Let's keep it up. So we go up 1-0 on this Minnesota team. Let's go up 2-0 and feel really good about ourselves. Looking good. Just do not let them back in it, preferably. It looks like, oh man, they're getting back in it slowly. And we are going to take the 2-0 lead over the Timberwolves. That's a good sign. Can we win game 3 or game 4? Game 3 goes to Minnesota. Let's simcast game 4 then. All right, game 4 on the road to Minnesota. I prefer if they did not tie this series, but there's a good chance that may happen here, and it is going to be a tied series, unfortunately. Okay, well, I guess I should have simcasted both of those. Now it is time for game 5. I'm pulling out the 8-man rotation. Game 5 at home in Detroit. I would love to take the 3-2 lead here on this team right now. We've had the lead most of the game. Can we hang on to it at the end? It looks like we will. Okay, so we're up 3-2. We need to win one freaking game. Uh-oh, I don't see Cade in the box score. No! He is not hurt again. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Oh, how unlucky is that? If we find a way to lose because Cade got hurt again, that would sting. Now we only need to win one more game. Just still one. One is all I asked for without Cade. I don't know why he keeps getting freaking hurt right now, but he is been very hurt in these playoffs. Okay. One game. Still one game. Please. And it's looking like it's going to go to minute. Oh, wait a minute. We did get back in it. And dude, this might sting a little. Can we take now? Okay. Game 7. Oh, wait, he's back. What? He said he was out for the season. Why didn't you play game 6, bro? Why couldn't you have played game 6? Now we're in game 7 with our backs against, well, I mean, their backs against the wall too. But okay, game 7. We start off with a lead here, but it is a back and forth game, man. This is going to be a close one. We have a lead most of it. I think we have a really good lead. Oh my gosh, we did it. Okay, 92-123, and we are going to beat the Timberwolves in 7 games. 42-13 from Cade. It said he was out for the season, then he came back. I have no idea what that's about, but 34, 9 assists. Shout out to Cade Cunningham for at least being there when it was necessary, because I don't know if he would have won game 7 without him. But overall, I think that's a great way to end this Pistons rebuild. It was a fun one. Who is your guys' favorite target for Detroit at the trade deadline, if anybody at all? Do you think they should just keep it the way it is? Marketing, by far, I think does make a ton of sense. I don't hate the idea of Jaren Jackson either if the Grizzlies were to be willing to trade him. But thank y'all for watching. It was a fun one. I'll see you on the next one. The Crushables, I'm saying peace.